how do we actually become a better editor? I'll admit, becoming a better editor is kind of an ambiguous term. What does that actually mean? Well, what it means is learning new things about the software so that we can not only come up with ideas, but we can execute them. Now, in order to get the skills which I needed to make this channel and edit these videos, I used this one method which never failed me, and it's to recreate edits. And look, I'll admit, for the last few months, I haven't been taking up this practice. So I decided that I would lock myself in my room until I recreated this edit by SunnyV2.
Back in 2011, Angry Birds was everywhere.
Within the 3 hours of intense editing, I learnt these 5 priceless things, which I'm going to tell you all in this video. Looping back to the point I made about becoming a better editor, we need to figure out how to actually do that. And recreating this edit completely reminded me of how. I mentioned that it took me 3 hours to recreate this clip, and this clip is only 10 seconds long. Now, 3 hours for a 10-second edit does seem quite disproportionate, and it is, but that only shows one thing, that I stretched my editing ability. Any 10-second edit which takes you 3 hours is probably outside of your skill set, but that's actually exactly what we're looking for. Because in order to improve your edits, you must act outside of your skills. So what I found out through recreating this edit is that there's certain things about After Effects which I just didn't understand, or I didn't know. So I had to watch tutorials and I had to learn. Here's an example of something I didn't know. I was in Photoshop and I was creating all the assets which I needed, but I needed to add a wooden texture to the text. Now, I had no idea how to do this. I tried to add it to the texture, but that just didn't make sense. That wasn't how you do it. So I went on Google, I searched up how to add texture to text in Photoshop, and what do you know? In 10 seconds, I learned how to do it. But this just means the next time that I come to needing this effect, I know how to do it, so it's instant. But the most important thing is that now that's part of my skill set, I'm more likely to think about how I could introduce that into my edits. So it's not just about knowing, oh yeah, I know how to do that if I needed that in a million years. It's actually, you know how to do that, so you can now use it in your edit. And this is how you improve. Let me tell you a story. Now, as you've seen in previous videos, I have edited for Internet Anarchist. There was one big mistake which I made when I was working with him, which costed me the job. And it's that I failed to improve. You see, when you have a client and you're already used to the videos you're making, you know you have the skills to make them, you're likely to just become complacent. No longer improve your skills, no longer look for new things you could do in the next video. And this is exactly the dark hole which I fell into. So this practice of recreating edits, which taught me how to do this whole skill in the first place, completely fell to the wayside. So it meant that over time, my skills were just staying stagnant. Whereas the hungry editors who are looking for new skills and looking to take your clients are improving because they are stretching their editing ability, but you're not stretching yours. And this is exactly how I messed up. So spending just 3 hours to recreate this edit reminded me of the importance of doing this. The importance of learning, the importance of spending 3 hours on a 10-second edit and just figuring out what you don't understand. Although there are things we're not going to understand, the next point is going to explain how we deal with those things. And that is breaking edits into smaller parts. So when I started this edit, I started off with the most foundational part, which was the background. Now in this case, the background resembles that of the Angry Birds game. So it had the grass, it had the little backdrop, and it had the sky. Before I started this edit, I came up with 3 ideas of how I could recreate this. It was either I was going to find these individual assets online, or I'd need to find a picture and then separate them in Photoshop, or I could just recreate them myself. Now, this observation of the 3 ways I could break this down may seem trivial, but the thing is, it really operationalized this whole edit. So I could go through, if I can't find the assets online, then I will find a picture and I will just separate it in Photoshop. If that doesn't look good, then I can try and make the assets myself. So there was a process to it. And the thing is, everything is possible. The fact that he had the Angry Birds backdrop in the video means that it's possible in some way. And these were the 3 ways which I observed I could do. At first, I tried to search for the individual assets, but I couldn't find it on Google. So the next best option was to just find an image online, upscale it, and then just cut it out in Photoshop. Within that, I found some issues too. So me thinking this would be easy, I just used the select and mask tool, but this couldn't recognize the blades of grass, so it didn't really come up with the edit I wanted. So to make sure that I kept this small detail of the grass, I went to the next best option, which was to take the pen tool and painstakingly just separate out each individual blade of grass. This did work, and I overcame that challenge of not being able to get the small blades of grass to be separated. So you can see this is just a game of trial and error, and breaking down the edits into their smaller pieces. Remember, nothing is impossible. You just need to find a way to get there. Once you've then broken down the edit into its constituent parts, we then need to use this next lesson in order to push our edit forward. Now, the majority of these 3 hours, apart from responding to a few comments, was spent on the details. So what do I mean? Any edit that you see does take time to perfect. Just because your edit's not perfect on the first try does not mean that you can't correct it. You see, throughout these 3 hours, I was mostly just correcting my mistakes. The animations of the Angry Birds. These may look so simple, but to get the timings, to get them looking like they're curving, to get them looking like they're actually Angry Birds. Oh, and not even to mention the struggle of making them look like they're bouncing off of the numbers, which fell over because they hit it, and then bouncing off the floor. That all takes perfection. So the majority of the time was just spent adjusting keyframes, making it look good, and then I had issues where, because I used Flow, which is a plugin used to make keyframes easier, because I used that, it made the whole UI just look weird, and then I had to just adjust and do it all by eye. This just all meant that I had to keep perfecting the edit and keep changing things, keep doing something, seeing if it works, and then going back and changing it until it looks right. Perfection is in the details. And if you're afraid of these details, if you feel like these details make you a failure as an editor, then you're going to discourage yourself from trying new things or trying out recreations. So it's okay to spend a few hours just perfecting things, especially when it's a recreation, because you have the time to be creative, you have the time to perfect. But within this perfection, you also learn things. So if I had to recreate this edit, or for example, I had to make Angry Birds hit some numbers, I would know how to do it so much quicker. With that being said, in order to perfect the details, we need to have a very critical eye. The way that I did this recreation was that I had the clip which I was recreating in just a different composition. So I could quickly switch between my active composition and the one which I was recreating. This meant that I was constantly looking, does this look right? Does this look similar? Is this wrong? Is this right? Can I improve this? And I was super honest with myself. If I didn't think something was good enough, I was okay with going back in and changing it. And my standard for it was very high. So if it didn't meet a very high standard of looking similar, then I would make sure that I change it. And you need this critical eye, although it's hard to develop. Now, this is why the critical eye is going to be one of the main things that we will learn inside of our new community called Docu Editors. Because if we don't know what to improve on, or if we don't know what's going wrong, there is literally no way of improving. Now, this community isn't out yet, but it will be out within the next month. So if you want to get exclusive access to lower prices, click the link in the description and sign up for the waitlist. Now, a quick but crucial example of the critical eye is that the keyframes aren't spaced correctly, or the velocity is just completely off. And while it seems like a trivial thing, this just completely makes the edit look cheap. This is why I spent so much time perfecting the animation and the keyframes. Though the critical eye is something which you need to train. And I've come up with the perfect system so you can train your critical eye as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Now on to the next and final point. Revolve your edits around the topic. Now, everything which I've explained is to do with recreating edits and improving them. But this is just a generalized point around your edits, specifically for documentary editing. And it's something which I've noticed that SunnyV2 does a lot in his edits. The edit which I was recreating is about Angry Birds. And what is so creatively done throughout the entire video is that he's used Angry Birds as the crux of the edit. So where he can, he's using transitions using an Angry Bird, or he's using the textures which would be used in Angry Birds, or for example, the background. And this is something which you can use in your edits to just really make it feel cohesive. And this technique will just add to your edits. So if you're making a video about Minecraft, then perhaps you could use things about Minecraft within the edit. Maybe the font is Minecraft's font. Or maybe you do a transition where pickaxe mines the screen and then it transitions into the next thing. You see, this is really creative, but it helps tie the edit together, especially as it links to the topic which is being spoken about. These are subtle things which SunnyV2 uses, and it just makes his edits top tier. You can even go as far as using certain color schemes for certain videos, because that is what's associated with the topic being spoken about. And with that being said, those are the 5 things which I learned by recreating this edit by SunnyV2. As I mentioned, recreating edits is one of the best ways that you can learn. And that's why the new community Docu Editors is going to be riddled with challenges where you're going going to recreate edits, and I've built systems around it so that when we recreate these edits, we're going to get the most value out of it. Now, I'm not going to say too much about the community. It's coming out soon, so if you want to sign up to get exclusive access to lower prices, then click the link in the description. Thanks for watching.